Thanks a lot that you joined in for the Mailchimp Advanced course where we dig into right in the middle. But before we start, I would like just to know a bit more about the audience. So first of all, if you could please raise your hand who have been yesterday to the beginner kind of session. Who was that? A few people? Perfect. And a second question, I would also like to understand, who of you are already Mailchimp users? Anyone out there? A few, yeah, most of them. Even better. If there are any other tools out there like Salesforce, HubSpot, Sendinblue, I've heard yesterday, there are so many tools out there. Of course, you can adapt the topics I'm talking about also to those tools, because in the end, I don't want to go too technical on the tools. You can, of course, ask me anytime afterwards or also during the summit. If you have like a really technical problem, I can also help you, of course, with that. But today's talk is also like yesterday, more the methodology, like the strategy behind and the thinking behind what you should do actually to convince people to, of course, purchase again with you, to make business again with you. And this tool, like Mailchimp, is really easy to use because it's such an amazing tool where you can really use email marketing, automation especially, in a much easy way. And today's talk is about how to drive 10x growth with Mailchimp, for example. And we have a couple of minutes time, 45 minutes. I try to be on point with the timing here. Again, as I said, like after the presentation, we can have a quick Q&A session. We can dig into your own problems. The good thing is that we today have like a kind of bit more advanced topic. So I dive into more of the integration side. But before we do that, I just want to briefly introduce myself. Love working with local-based companies. Love working with Yacht charter companies. We had like a wonderful also session last year with one of you about Mailchimp as well. And Mailchimp and I have a long history. We are like partnering together since a few years. So they sent me some gifts like that all the time. It's a really wonderful company to work with. Even though they got acquired a few weeks ago from Intuit, that's maybe just a side note for you guys, just to understand that they are now part of a bigger company. And but anyhow, the brand will remain, and of course their mission will remain. And the mission is to help small, medium-sized companies to digitally grow their reach, their audience, and that's also where I stand for. So the first part will be like, why is it really important to start using marketing automation, to start investing in email marketing? And I go through that real quick because most of you probably are aware of the fact that email marketing has one of the highest return on investments compared to other digital channels. But I can't really stress this topic out as much because everyone is, of course, like going to channels, for example, social, obviously, where they have the most engagement. And I don't blame that. I mean, it works, of course, especially in our industry where we have a lot of great images to use to, for example, convince or to inspire people to purchase. But these, of course, always are more kind of inspirational channels where the people are not really maybe requesting your boat or requesting to book a trip with you. So all these things are coming together when you have to look about different channels. And the email channel especially is basically such with a high return on investment because you've done business with them already. You've worked with those people who purchased with you already, so it's really easy actually to convince them, maybe if you are from the content side, contextual and really emotional, that they will do business with you again and again and again. So that's why the return on investment and the first reason why you should invest in email marketing automation, besides maybe other channels. And the second reason why I really love email marketing is that still today, and that's a really interesting study, that's the first thing they check in the morning. The first thing they check is their inbox. They want to see if they have like new offers or new kind of emails. That was really amazing because actually I thought it would be social media, the first thing they check in the morning. So if you're relevant, if you have like build up a relationship with with your subscribers already, that's of course like a really interesting point to point them out and to maybe send them also emails straight away in the morning. That's of course obviously a big topic also. A lot of people ask, when is actually the best sending time? This chart would demonstrate, hey, you can send it early, but of course you need to try it out. That's maybe something we can go through on the Q&A side. Because the last and most important thing and reason for my understanding why you should invest in email marketing in your own list, and I don't want to actually say email marketing in general, because maybe also in your head email marketing is like just a tactic to use, but it's much more. It's basically understanding your contacts. It goes more and more into this term, and Mailchimp is actually also investing in their software heavily. I will show you in a bit a few screenshots about that they are turning from like an email marketing system more and more to a contact data platform. And a contact data platform, I will show you in a second. Why is that important? Because we heard a lot of sales talks. There are a lot of great sales talks here during the summit. I hope you could enjoy one of those. And it's all about understanding your customer. Totally agree with that. Totally agree. But you need to have some sort of, some people call it CRM, some people call it contact data platform, where you can track and also record those kind of learnings you have from your customers. And other question here, please. Who's using the MMK software? Please raise your hands, please. Yeah. Oh, there's still room for improvement. Nadia, let's see. They're all okay. So, so you all use, of course, MMK the software. Okay. So that's also a perfect match actually with Mailchimp, because of the integration side, because of the all operational data which are coming when the customer is like booking a yacht and so on. And you have all this information. So what can you do with the information? You can build up basically your own asset to improve the customer experience, to improve, like with email marketing in this case, the experience for your customers when they, for example, didn't book a boat, didn't book a trip like this last 12 months, for example. And compared to other digital channels like social media, you don't rely on the algorithm from someone other software company. So that's also the third and most important reason actually, that you build up with email marketing and with a contact data platform your own digital asset, and you don't kind of feed someone's other tool like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube and so on with a lot of content where you probably, like we all here in the room, need to put a lot of time in other platforms. So that's why I first start basically with any of our customers to invest in their list, in their contact list, so that they can really build and grow it from there. So these are the three reasons why email marketing and marketing automation in particular is so important topic to talk about, to invest time in it. And the next few slides will be talking about more like, now we understand it. We are going to this path. We are investing time in our email marketing list. We're building up a contact data platform with Mailchimp, for example. So how are we going to use Mailchimp, for example, to do marketing automation? And first of all, I want to focus on underline this pulse that the most people are focusing too much on like open rate, click rate. But that's not actually the most important thing. You should focus more about, again, the customer and the journey the customer he's in. For example, the very beginning, of course, is that they need to find a trip, for example. They need to find a holiday trip, and they land probably on the website or request something. So if you think always, what are the touch points, the digital touch points the customer is going through, you can find out the best way and the best digital customer experience to use then a tool like Mailchimp to send him nice information, or maybe other updated information on a trigger-based automated way or on a manual way for a newsletter with updates and so on. And that's also the second question, or the next question I have. There are basically two kinds of emails you can send out, and I will show that also in a minute later. The one kind of email are single campaigns, like newsletters. You build up manually, you send out to maybe all of the audience, or maybe only for a tiny piece of your segment. And the other kind is kind of automated way, trigger-based campaigns and so on. And please raise your hands if you think single campaigns have the highest open rates. Who thinks that? No? Who thinks that automated, like trigger-based campaigns have the higher open rate? Yeah. And that's exactly the fact, because you expect something when you push a trigger, when you, for example, purchase something, or when you, even though when you occurring an event, for example, when you have 30 days until your trip is starting, you're expecting not that you receive an email, but it's of course something which pops into the mind when you booked already a trip and so on, and then 30 days before the trip you get reminded from the company you booked with. That's of course a wonderful thing to do, and that's why those kind of automated or trigger-based campaigns are much more effective than just like ordinary newsletters, ordinary single campaigns. They can be really important too, especially when you combine that with great content, video for example. But automated campaigns are the first thing you should actually think about when you start working with Mailchimp. And of course, it's all about the underlying data, and sometimes we feel maybe a bit also like in this picture, it's always hard to do. You know, we are used to maybe only write our single campaigns, our newsletters. We don't receive maybe that much kind of engagement. We don't see that high open rate or click rate or results we actually expect. So that's why first turning maybe more into the trigger-based campaign side gives you also more room and more time to build up other campaigns. Because anytime you have those kind of trigger-based campaigns in place, they're running 24/7 without doing anything, except, of course, increasing the customer's experience and also that the customer is staying more loyal. And a good way to start with selecting kind of different journeys, kind of different touch points, is to build out maybe a customer journey map. From the very start, from the inspiration phase until the decision consideration phase, until in the end, the decision and purchase phase. Like those 5 big areas basically you have in your customer journey where digital touchpoints are occurring. And of course, the data sources, where do these touchpoints are happening? They are your website. There are, of course, a lot MMK systems, because here you type in all the operational data you're using to, of course, make the trip happen, have maybe more information on the customer side, and I really urge you to use that, because in the next step, and that's maybe a highly interesting slide as well, also for MMK, that you can use tools like Zapier, and please raise your hands who knows Zapier? Just one? Yeah, perfect. It's a perfect tool basically to integrate different data sources depending on the data source you have, let's say your website or MMK systems. I just put up the logo here, and you can really, with an easy click and collect, drag and drop mechanism, you can actually select what kind of trigger you want to push in Mailchimp, for example. And again, here you see also transactional emails or Mailchimp itself as like a kind of contact data platform. And the really good thing is when you even write down a note from a customer inside your MMK system, or maybe you have another system where you work on that, you just need to do it once, and it automatically triggers an action in Mailchimp where this information or even a custom event is going into your Mailchimp account, which is then be based on another engagement. So let's assume you're typing in the book dates or when the new customer is coming. He perfectly booked his trip. You can use then a software like Zapier as a kind of middleware software between MMK system and Mailchimp, or you do direct integration where this kind of event and interaction gets sent to Mailchimp and then do the trigger campaigns without actually touching anything. You just in your MMK system in this case, of course it needs to be set up once, but then it works beautifully and improves the customer experience. Because that's actually all about to change also the way we think maybe, and always see in the old way this kind of funnel where we just are chasing behind the purchase, are chasing behind a deal. That's of course not maybe the most long-term thinking. The better thinking is in the other chart to put the sailor or the customer in the center of every thought we have. And this image probably some of you have seen that this flywheel effect, which demonstrates actually this slide, is so powerful to put first, of course, our sailor, our customer in the center of all the activities, and to think about how can we better bring them from the inspiration to the consideration, decision, and purchase phase. And that's actually really good to do with Mailchimp, because it's also much more nowadays than only email marketing. You can do, of course, a lot of other things with that, schedule your social media activities with that. Or even they now offer like some sort of small stores where you could even think about upselling maybe more services and activities, so you really have the whole customer journey actually build it up in Mailchimp to improve the customer's experience of your customers. So this is like a really important also picture to think about how to approach or how to use maybe the Mailchimp tool. And for me, for myself, I use Mailchimp also to really collect all the data from our sailor, all the interest, all the activities he did with us, to really put him in the center. And after that, there's also a really great feature built in Mailchimp that you can use all these different activities to build up different customer journeys, they call it in Mailchimp, which is basically like a multi-wave campaign sort of, where you can trigger or where you can send engagements once a trigger is happening in Mailchimp, and you can build up more and more email campaigns after that as well. So depending if he opened or clicked something, if he clicked a certain link, so you can really think forward your campaign with those kind of customer journeys, so that you are staying on top basically of the customer's experience. And here's just one simple, I'm just really new to the whole charter industry and yacht industry, but here are just really simple events actually who are now at the moment probably typed into the MMK systems. You have the information if someone booked a yacht, if the trip is approaching, all those information are underlying in the software, which can then be used as a trigger to put an action into Mailchimp. And these are just really easy examples on how to improve then the customer experience with, for example, a customer journey inside Mailchimp. And again, just set it up once and it runs forever. The second pulse I want to give you is that you, of course, share more lessons, maybe also from other customers inside your email content. Because most of the content I see, and I'm pretty excited about the 3 winners we had from last day's talk, to see how they build up their email campaigns, and maybe to improve that as well. Because so many people are just putting the product, the yacht in the focus, but it's also more about the experiences around from other customers. And here I want to highlight this phrase from Gary Vaynerchuk that don't be too hard with yourself when you create content. Think more about the whole concept of documenting experiences from maybe other clients, maybe also from your own business. When you prepare a yacht, for example, if you're a local charter, how to prepare a yacht for new customers. There are a lot of customers who are interested and involved in those sort of topics and those kind of pieces of content, because they're planning their whole year's holiday with you. So the one thing they want to do is they want to really dig deeper on what's really behind this company I want to do business with. And it doesn't need to be video, but of course video is the most important piece of content, because we as a human being, as we all sit here as well, We see, we listen, we want to totally focus on the content we have in front of, and video gives us as human beings the most kind of bandwidth to really consume pieces of content, except image where we can only see something, except audio where we can also only listen, or except text where we can only maybe read through it. Of course, they are all different or important pieces of content, but if you start and if you feel more comfortable, I would really urge you to use video, and especially to produce at the very beginning those 3 highlights pieces of content, which you can use for marketing automation perfectly. Because imagine if, for example, you have certain videos of your boat, and I know a lot of you already invest in those kind of pieces of content. You can, first of all, integrate it in your website, you can post on social media. All those things are really, really obvious, but really less obvious, and I need to subscribe to all of your newsletters, that they put videos in their email marketing campaigns. And especially products or also testimonials, or of course like company video, builds up such a big trust factor, especially when we are talking about different kind of groups of audience. So let's imagine a family is booking a trip, and let's assume you know this information because you're writing it down in MMK systems, or you ask them and you have this kind of interest and tag in Mailchimp. You can send them, of course, a testimonial from another family trip and how this family enjoyed the trip, the boat, really much. So that's really important, or the most 3 videos I would recommend you to start working with, especially maybe first start actually the other way around, company, because when you have you as a brand ambassador, more or less, in front of a camera, in front of a video, people are much higher likely that they buy from you, because they see you, they can hear you, they build up a relationship and emotion, and it's totally different experience when you just on the website without any contact data, without any pictures from the human beings behind all this operation. And what we do is in our monthly Monatsabschluss, we send out also exclusive video which only gets seen from this subscribed list, which in the end results in on average higher open rate compared to other competitors in our industry. We share lessons, we share topics with customers we did, and they kind of expect that now, that every month they receive a kind of email with an exclusive video for their audience. And to be honest, I don't really produce these videos like in a great form. I have, of course, like a small equipment, small mic. You can do that with your phone, basically. All what you need is your phone to then create exclusive video content to bring into the list of your subscribers. And that's, of course, one USP you can also communicate to your audience when they want to subscribe. And what we see at the moment is 34% on average open rate. It varies, of course, depending on the time. But compared to other industries or in our industry, we are really happy with that result. And that's like the second reason that you share lessons more than just putting your product in front of the people, and more talk about lessons from or experiences from existing customers and so on. And the last thing I want to show how to use actually Mailchimp and what kind of content you should create is that you select in your company some sort of brand ambassador. And it doesn't need to be the CEO, the founder of the company. It can be someone who likes to talk, who likes to be in front of people, who maybe is your sales representative. But choosing someone who is standing for the company is crucial for the success, and also, of course, the emails you send out, the marketing or transactional emails, because you can place those kind of brand ambassadors in every kind of email, like you see here in the screenshot, because this is one of the most important factor on how to increase open rates. Like there are 3 main reasons why someone is opening the email. First is, of course, the sender. So what's the sender name? Where is this mail coming from? Is this coming from my bank, my financial institution or whatever. So we are like maybe a bit scared and say, oh no, I won't read that. Or is it maybe a person I know? Is it a person I bought something from? Is it maybe a family member? Of course, this is the most important factor. Where is this mail coming from? So the sender profile is factor number one. Factor number two, of course, for the open rate is the subject. Obviously, that's mostly also the first reason why when I ask people what's the biggest reason when to increase open rate, the subject line all the time. No, it isn't actually. Actually, it's the sender profile. And again, I urge you to send and write personal, select someone who is the brand ambassador, put their face, put their name on it, so that you increase with that the open rate as well. And of course, the subject line, which you can test really beautifully in Mailchimp. You can do A/B testing if you have more than 500 subscribers. That's of course the second most important thing to increase the open rate. And here, if you include an emoji, for example, that it will increase, of course, too. And the third reason is, of course, the delivery time. So again, the fact, or the first slide I showed, that people in the morning are opening the first thing is their inbox, is of course a really good timing factor. But of course, you need to play around with these two factors, subject line and delivery time, to really increase open rates, to see how they maybe interact if you send them an email on the weekends or during the week, the afternoon, in the morning. The only thing you can do is experiment with that, or maybe base it also on certain habits. So for example, a family, if you're addressing families, I would argue that on the weekends, they won't probably check their emails too often because they enjoy the time with kids and so on. So that's maybe also a crucial factor to be really contextual. And writing personally is also really important, that with those kind of factors you can reach a much higher open rate than without doing one of those tactics. And another rate, of course, we have like the open rate, the click rate, but not a lot of people talk about like a reply rate. And reply rates are, for two reasons, really important. First, you get along, or you get around the whole topic of becoming a spam mails. That's of course like a big topic if we do marketing emails. And when they reply to your emails, to your marketing emails, technically the inbox is saying, hey, this sender this mail is coming from is really trustworthy, so we won't put you into the spam folder in the future, and also in other inboxes, because the most inboxes who are used are from, of course, Apple Mail, Gmail. We have, of course, if we're talking about the business side, Microsoft and so on. So all those inboxes, they are, of course, smart software tools. And those smart software tools, they have algorithm also behind on how to track, how to put certain kind of senders into maybe the spam folder, into maybe other folders, or right inside of your inbox. So if you receive replies, that's a really beautiful thing. And of course, you need to answer those replies. I mean, that's obviously the most important thing to do. And we see actually with our little tactic, with a PS factor, or with certain kind of questions we put inside the email, up to 5% reply rate, which we are really happy about, because that's like the interaction we want to build up. We know, of course, the kind of engagement we get from comments in social media, but think about that as if you get a reply from an email because you ask questions straight away to the audience. That's a beautiful thing to do, and that's basically a comment you get from your emails, and increasing again the loyalty of your customer, decreasing the spam factor of your general sender profile and emails, and seeing a much better result and loyalty, increasing customer experience. So writing personal with this kind of strategy, and also put the brand ambassador in the signature, for example, is a really interesting tactic to do. And on the next slide, I just want to mention that yesterday's talk, we had like did a quick challenge. So that's already gone, unfortunately. I don't know, someone who went to the talk yesterday, we helped them with increasing their template, their email template. So the first 3 lucky winner are, I want to just mention it, Ivana, Ante, who sits here, yeah, and Christina. I don't know if Christina is here or not, but those 3 people, and I hope we can share that maybe in the next year's session, how to improve, like, because obviously that's the most important question first, how do I maybe optimize my email design and so on. And I was thinking yesterday, how can we maybe make it really relevant for you guys? And in next year's session, or maybe later on, I will send it to Nadia in a few weeks, we can compare that. We will have 3 like usual send out newsletters from the audience, and how we turn that into like a more professional, more personal looking email, if we can improve it. I mean, until now you have the best information, you have the best starting ground, so maybe we don't need to improve anything. So coming back to maybe the newsletters designs and how to use Mailchimp, for example, is of course also to use a couple of other tools. And I want to highlight Nifty Images on this slide. And Nifty Images is a free tool actually available, where you can place accordingly to the data on your contact database inside an image. So let's imagine someone is booking a yacht with you, everything is clear, everything is set up. You can then send him a transactional email 30 days before the event is approaching with a nice image of the boat he booked, with maybe also how many days are left, so you can really excite him 30 days before the event is happening. Because again, if you put the customer in the center of your activities and to your mind, he's totally excited about this event, because sometimes he's doing that for the very first time, or he's doing that more often, so you know, it's like a really good situation when he can relax. And giving him also, or pushing this excitement, is in the end only resulting in a higher customer experience, customer satisfaction, and of course increasing then the loyalty of your customers. Another tool I wanna mention, and we did that also last year, that was much fun, was Video Ask. And I also sent out a few Video Ask links already. But if you want to really try it out on the consumer side, I urge you to maybe rate this presentation, give feedback. If you go on this link, it will bring you then to the Video Ask. And I urge you to play around with that a bit. Also, you as a company, as a business, to ask your customers questions like that. Because also, again, of 2 reasons. First, that you as a person will ask the question, so you build up trust with your customers, and you receive valuable feedback, of course, again, from those people in form of video, audio, or text. And it's perfectly integrated with Mailchimp, so that any answer is also getting pushed back to the Mailchimp system, so you can also create a thank you message via email and ask them to get a present or anything else. Maybe you incentivize those kind of videos. So getting personal with video questions is really crucial, and that's actually everything how you should use Mailchimp in general to do email marketing or any other email marketing system, that you also think outside the box and try and find other tools which works into your workflow whenever you think about a customer's engagement. So the last topic, and this is in the advanced session, I will go a bit deeper on certain use cases, is now what you can do actually today with Mailchimp. And again, in the beginning, I told you about the acquisition of Intuit, that they bought Mailchimp, which is actually also a sign that they get more and more features in the product, so that they become rid of their positioning. Mailchimp is just an ordinary newsletter tool. And here just a few, I think we share the presentation. You can go through any sort of use case you can do today with Mailchimp. I started working out some small scenario catalog, let's call it like that. But I will go through few selected use cases, because it's really important that you, for example, first import via the API, which exists today. It exists today. You can go straight away to Nadia, for example, and ask, hey, how can we import? How can we integrate our contact data, our maybe interest data, which you see here via tags or maybe certain activities you are writing inside of MMK systems into our Mailchimp accounts, so that we really utilize the feature of having a contact data platform with Mailchimp. So that's one of the use cases I want to really highlight and check out. I don't know, can anyone check across this use case? Do you use already the API with Mailchimp? Who's using that? Yeah, API are using? No, but few? Not you. Okay. Okay, perfect. Yeah, perfect. So still a lot of room for improvement. And the second use case is, of course, to understand, not to own. A lot of people say you need to own your customers. In the end, it's of course all about understanding, and that's of course possible with connecting again also certain data sources and putting it to the data feed or the activity feed here, and of course also utilize the profile information on the right side, which most of the time is still in the default mode, but you can customize it. You can customize the profile information as much as you want, so that it's a really digital kind of twin from your MMK system here inside of Mailchimp, and to use it for engagements. Talking about engagements, that's the next use case. What you can do today is to re-engage in a really simple way with website visitors who didn't turn out to make a purchase. So let's say it's quite an easy concept. You just need to place a small tag, HTML tag in your website. So Mailchimp knows exactly when a person is visiting your website, and after agreeing, of course, your cookie consent banner after our GDPR process, the Mailchimp is putting them kind of stamp on their arm, and you can follow, or Mailchimp can then follow up on, for example, platforms like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or even Google display banners with some sort of retargeting campaigns where you can just display the boat they were looking at, or maybe the video about your company to learn more. So those kind of things are actually today possible with Mailchimp, and it's kind of easy to set up. You need first, of course, to make sure that this code snippet is on the website. Zapier, I talked briefly about it, but that's, again, also a really important tool to bring all the different data sources together so that you can utilize Mailchimp as your customer data platform. Next thing is, of course, the automation, the customer journey feature, which I talked about. That's just also a quick screenshot about that. It's also quite easy to use, and they are bringing more and more features in it so that you can not only use for trigger, that you can also use it for recurring events, like birthday. That's obviously the most important thing as well, to really stay in contact and be loyal with your customers, that you give them maybe also, again, with a video, a small surprise, that you say, hey, happy birthday to them. Here we have a little surprise for you. The surprise can be, of course, always a standard, a default one. But again, it's just about engaging the customer and that they still think about you. Because subconsciously, when they receive a message and they are happy with it, when it's the right timing, when it's the right topic, then of course they make another business or another trip with you. So those are the three main areas I want to talk about. So why use actually email marketing or actually Mailchimp to do that? How actually also Mailchimp can be used, and what are the different use cases you as a company can today make with Mailchimp happen? And also from the sign from Nadia, that's the end of my talk. Thanks a lot, and we can start Q&A question. Thank you. Thank you. So, or maybe question from this side. You use MMK system with the API already? No? No?
Hello, my name is Clement. I use the Mailchimp as a tool that I do the automations, what you talk about. I do the remarketing, And we are for Facebook and Instagram and for the website visitors. And mainly I do the campaigns like personal, but I don't put a photo yet.
Yeah.
So in the future, maybe I put my photo on.
Yeah.
That's the start.
But you integrated.
But I didn't integrate with MMK yet. And once I put the on my website, I put the pop-up for the subscribe. And once I get the new sign up, I trigger that via Zapier, and I do the like a welcome email via Zapier, and that goes like automated. Perfect. After that, I automated the journeys you talk about, and that's the flow, like welcome email and.
Perfect example.
Yeah. I don't want to tell any secrets anymore.
More. Can we log into your account?
No, sure. It's private. I can show you
of course,
later on. And we, for any new subscriber, I give a ebook. I created an ebook like a white charter in Croatia, and this is the start.
Yeah. In
my opinion.
Perfect combination. And you happy with that? How are the results?
I want to increase the click rate, but I took a note about the. I don't want to sell anymore. I want to
share lessons.
Share lessons. That's why I created the ebook, which is like free for download, and I think the guests are pretty happy about it because that's the ebook with all the essentials about the charter in Croatia, what to do, where to sail, what to eat, and how to tie basic rope knots.
How did you stay up to date with your contacts then when you don't have any data source integrated? Or MMK it would be your contact data, in MMK your contacts are all stored here, or?
Yeah, if the guests contact us directly via email, then the ladies from the booking, they send me that contact. I put the contact in the Mailchimp, and after that the journey just starts. Like he gets the welcome message, like welcome email. Okay. After that he gets the ebook, and after that we are like in a contact.
Perfect. I mean, if it's not too much work to do that manually, because I see that most of the time, you know, that you have like a data silo here, and there's manual time involved.
Yeah, because I wanted to have the Mailchimp like one main source, and the guys, the ladies from the booking, they have the MMK. So we have two sides, like for laying the car.
And wouldn't it make sense to integrate?
Yes, the Zapier helped me a lot, like for doing that automation stuff. So I'm not worried about if I forget something or.
Exactly. Yeah. So. And it saves you time, makes your life easier. You
yeah,
can
it saves my time, but
content. Yeah.
But we wanted to use the MMK, of course, as well. So the ladies from the booking, which are not into Mailchimp as much as perhaps I do, they see all the data in the MMK.
I mean, I'm not 100% sure if MMK is already like, you know, thinking about Zapier. That was last night's surprise, Nadja. You will probably have a new project that MMK is integrating with Zapier, because again, that gives also the freedom for you who use MMK to do whatever, or to push data into any kind of system you want to build further your experience with. Yeah, so really good example.
Yeah, and I wanted to do the automation with the postcards, like to get a physical, but I signed up for the test from the Mailchimp, but I didn't get none. Maybe it's some bug or something. But yeah,
that's really early. Yeah, and you need to be careful also when you with postcards that you rely on their formatting. You know, they have a special address formatting, so those are like really easy things you can like sort of mess up a bit. But yeah,
maybe for the new Christmas or something we send personal to anyone.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions or? Oh, sorry.
I don't have any questions.
Cool. Yeah.
I just enjoy it. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Yep. One question over there. Salmi.
Thank you. If you know how MMK works, can you maybe highlight the points where integration with Mailchimp may get best results?
Would make sense.
Yes.
Like first of all, or maybe We have an expert over there.
I think I might answer better than Paul on this one. So you can actually connect, if you use the back office of MMK as charter operator, this can be automatically connected, as Paul mentioned, through the API. So we just need to get the API key from your Mailchimp account. We put it in your booking manager account, and automatically we can synchronize some audiences. Depending on what is your profile on Mailchimp, we can synchronize one audience or several. And automatically when the user group is updated in Booking Manager, then this information is sent also to Mailchimp. If you want more info, my colleagues from technical support on MMK stand can actually help you set that up.
Yeah, it saves you a lot of time, of course. And yeah, when first customer is coming in, it really needs to be also in these kind of contact data platform, Mailchimp system, whatever you use for storing all the information, because there's an interesting also topic about, you know, bringing the operational data which are lying in the MMK system with the experience data together. And experience data are like open rates, click rates, because with each click your customer is doing on a certain link, you have exactly the interest from those people. So over time, you know, when you're coming to a place where you send out every quarter also emails, or maybe even every month, and you see that the customer is clicking to certain links where you can identify his kind of interest, because he likes, I don't know, boats with 2 people, 4 people, 5 people, and then the system is becoming more and more intelligent, Mailchimp in this case, so that you can use those information in the segmentation area, for example, to trigger out a campaign once a contact is clicking 3 times in 6 months, for example, on links you marked as these links are 2 boats, and then you can give him an offer. Hey, this is a 2-person boat. Here, please, only two slots left. So this kind of lead nurturing is really easy possible also to do with Mailchimp, when you use that to collect also the experience data. 2 minutes left. Otherwise, question from the live audience, from the live streams? Not yet? Good. I hope that was involving you as well on your laptops and television. One question over there.
Thank you. So I've read recently that the privacy rules for open rates are changing, and particularly Apple Mail has already instituted this with their latest update, but Gmail has said that they're close behind. How do you recommend we start to think toward the future in terms of open rates? And as far as I understand it, the difference is that open rates will show as more than actually were opened, because the email client is automatically showing the email is open when it arrives in the inbox. How do you recommend we look toward the future with that in mind, knowing that our open rates might be overinflated soon across email clients?
That's an important topic also, because like technically the open rates, how does it get measured? It was measured when someone is opening and loading the first kind of content, because in the end it's an HTML file you're sending out to, in most of the cases it's an HTML file you're sending out to the subscribers. And now, of course, Apple is really, really strict with privacy rules, and those kind of technical loading happens then already like in the inbox as well. So, as I mentioned also, maybe to address the question, that of course open rates, click rates are important measurement to see the success and performance of your campaign. But as I've mentioned, as a pulse and as a kind of thought, don't follow like every click, follow those kind of performance metrics all along, because also certain inboxes are tracking different open rates, or the click rate ratio maybe is much more important, and that's also a metric which is on the roadmap, the ratio between clicks and open rate. So that's basically what you can see with this kind of measurement is what's the quality of this piece of content, like how clickable was this piece of content compared to others. That's maybe even a more interesting measurement, because again, with Apple, Of course, there will be maybe ways to improve or to show open rates. I got the X here. But I would highlight more this kind of ratio click to open rate, or even only focus on the click rate, because we are, of course, with Apple Mail and probably Gmail and other inboxes might follow, that they will also kind of destroy our open rate measurement. Where we need to live with that. That's like at the moment the status quo is it's kind of the same, that Facebook needs some sort of to live with this pop-up, you want to track users. We as advertisers or as businesses just need to, of course, maybe find other ways to go with reply rate, with click rate, to find a kind of success for our campaigns. I hope that answered the question. Or
Yeah,
kind
thank
of
you.
bit?
Thank you. Yeah, big recent change, so I appreciate that.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. I think, yeah, no, thank you.